All right, everyone, it's time to talk about an epic day. A couple days ago, the Elmo account on Twitter was either hacked or compromised by maybe a disgruntled employee or an employee that just like trolling or something like that. Or it could be a PR stunt. That is possible. Everyone's talking about Elmo at the moment. And Elmo was like singing along to Kanye West, saying he didn't like Jews and stuff like that. And I found it funny, link in the description. Um, I found it funny that the legacy media's reaction was like, "Oh, this points to a need for greater cybersecurity. Kids might have seen this." Twitter, let me remind you, has an age limit. So little kids were not seeing this unless they were logged into their parents' accounts or their older siblings' accounts, rather, possibly. I guarantee that the damage was relatively limited. Don't worry, your 8-year-old son probably doesn't give a shit about Elmo anyway. Where's this nostalgia for Sesame Street coming from anyway? It's coming from like millennials and Gen X and shit like that. It's not coming from, little kids, 10-year-olds and stuff like that, crying as they watch Elmo berate Jewish people and throw up a Sieg Heil or something like that. That didn't happen. This is now being used as an argument for more like internet ID and stupid shit like this that never should be a thing. It's being used for that. This is called Think of the Children. It's the most common form of propaganda because it jerks people's tears out of their eyes. Oh, when I think of my little Sally smoking marijuana. And so they see the marijuana, ad and stuff like that. And they get all troubled about it, even though, look, you're probably smoking it yourself. And if Sally smokes it, it's probably not going to kill her. Just the idea is, oh, she's going to get dosed with fentanyl at a club, smoking her weed or devil's lettuce, and then she's going to end up human trafficked. These things are not particularly common. What we've done is we've created a society in which people will tell like tear-jerking stories. And all of a sudden, the majority of society that will never be troubled by what happened has to suffer the consequences of a handful of people wringing their hands. This is pretty innocuous. Were you on the internet back in the 2000s? God, you would have seen far worse than this. Can you imagine the official Elmo YouTube channel if somebody nicked the username beforehand? There was a Satan, there was a God. Actually, I think that account is still active. And crazy shit like that happens all the time. Your kids are probably not getting exposed to Elmo the Nazi. Although they should be, because then maybe they would develop a better sense of humor. Still hilarious. Whoever did this is a master. It doesn't matter whether it was disgruntled employee, trolley employee, outside hacking group, which is, I think, what they're claiming. Hell, I don't even care if it's a PR stunt. It was still funny. Look at Wendy's Twitter. People have raised concerns about that because they're always trolling online. They've leaned into it and said, look, we sell burgers. Sometimes they're actually good, by the way. So we can say what we want. It doesn't matter. This is Twitter. Fucking grow a pair. Get a life. Get a sense of humor. That's what I think this might have been meant to do. It's basically like, Elmo is so sorry that there weren't 6 million more or something like that. Because it's so absurd that Elmo is espousing Hitler ideology and stuff like that. Because it is absurd, that is why it is funny. And I bet you that most of the people that had a problem with this were not Jews or something like that. They weren't part of the cohort that Hitler would have wanted gassed or something like that. No, mostly it's going to be white, waspish suburban mothers more than anything else because they are the key complainers of all society. You will never find a bigger cesspit of people who chronically complain about everything that does not affect them than these individuals. Also overlaps with NIMBYism. You may have noticed if you've watched this channel for more than 2 days that I'm not a fan of NIMBYists. I think it's perfectly fine. Not in my backyard. I voted for a politician who wanted to make more drug rehab facilities. That's great, although they don't really work generally. But shit, now they're putting it on my block. I don't want all those druggies around me. This is a normal neighborhood. People like that. Those are the sort of people complaining about Nazi Elmo. I think it's fucking hilarious, actually. Whoever pulled this stunt off, I think that it's great. I'm very, very happy that it happened. Oh, and the Kanye clip with Elmo is talking to Big Bird and Snuffleupagus. It's that clip from Sesame Street. Most of you have probably seen it if you're my age. And he's like, Elmo wrote his own song. Would you like to hear it? And they're like, yeah, yeah, of course. And then he just starts plinking on the piano, and it's Heil Hitler by Kanye. Thought that was one of the funniest things that I've seen this year so far, actually. So I'm glad this happened. I'm also glad that the legacy media once again is showing how out of touch it is. Do you really think that some random Generation Alpha kid, 8 years old or whatever, number one is even using Twitter, number two is offended by this, number three, at the same age, wouldn't have, seen way, way crazier shit if they were born 20 years prior? I can attest to this, or 30 years prior in my case. Do you really think that little kids are the ones that saw this shit? No, it was adults mainly. They're spreading it around merrily because it's hysterical. Nobody's offended by this bullshit. Come on. Again, you gotta grow thicker skin. If you're offended by Elmo getting hacked and not just noticing how hilarious it is, because again, the absurdity aspect makes it funny, Elmo's gonna send you to the concentration camp. Well, again, it's absurdism. It's funny, therefore. It's a little Muppet telling you that he intends to attack Jewish people randomly and stuff like that. This is considered humor. It's a form of humor. Some people, I guess, just don't get it. That's about all. Peace out.